Okay, so this is the assignment. We're gonna make Hello World Mario. Well, Hello Mario, I guess. We're going to need to use PySculptor, so I've linked it there, and it's actually opened it up here. That's cute. And then we need to create a program that creates a hashtag hill between 1 and 8 hashtags tall. Okay. I guess prompt the user for a number between 1 and 8. Okay, and if the number is outside of that range, we should tell the user they entered an incorrect number. Okay, so a little bit of error checking. And then we should create a right justified hill of hashtags. Interesting, that's the height specified by the user. Okay, might take a bit of imagination, but this is what we're after if the user inputs 8. And here's a picture of Mario, and we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 by 8. There's a cute little like hill there. But we're actually not building this this thing. We're actually going to build this, just a bunch of hashtags. So, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you can see that they're all kind of like what we're going to be calling right justified. So they're all over on the right side, lined up. It's kind of going up instead of coming down, right? Okay, so we just have to make that. That should be really easy. So let's go to so actually this is all just default code. We don't need any of that. Gone forever. And then the first thing we're going to do is basically, well, one, we need to understand that this is Python. So the programming language here is Python, and we can type our code into this left side, and we can get our code out from the right side. There's a couple of things that are useful for us to be able to code. One is the comment. In Python, you can create a comment with the hashtag. So this is a comment, and comments aren't executed. So when you click run, nothing happens, but it's actually a little note that you can put to yourself. So I like giving myself notes. And basically, I want to put here on this screen what I need to do so that I don't have to start like tabbing back and forth all the time, right? So I'm going to go create a program. I'm just going to copy this and put it in there, and that's a little far, I guess. So there we go. So now I can see it all. And now what I can also do here is I can kind of think through the kind of question, and I can just make some comments, right? So I need to get user input. That's a fancy word for having the user tell me what they want, right? Like it should be like a number between 1 and 8. And then also right here, it does say prompt the user for input, right? Oh, cool. I just basically typed that over. That's good. If the number is outside of the range, we should like let them know that they did it wrong. So, sorry, this. Hey, let's put the hashtag there. Now again, that's good. Okay. And then what else do we need to do? We need to then create a right justified hill, right? So let's copy that, put this in here, boom. And we're just literally copying the text from the assignment into here. Nothing's happening when I hit run, because nothing should be happening, because all those hashtags are just notes to ourselves, right? And we can kind of think about like, okay, is this good? Is this good enough to kind of start with? What should we start with? And in fact, I mean, right here, I'm kind of good with starting at the top, right? Getting the user input between 1 and 8. So let's go ahead and start right there. And at this point, you might be thinking, well, I don't know how to get user input. I don't know how to do it. And so that's okay. You're probably on a computer of some kind. Just open up a new tab and type in get user input, and remember the programming language we're using right now is Python. So Python, right? And then hey, look, there's this and it says taking input in Python, and it says developers often need to interact with users either to get data or provide some sort of result. Most programs they use a dialog box, while Python provides us 2 inbuilt functions, okay, to read input from the keyboard. Ooh, I like that. Input and raw input. Okay. So input, this function first takes the input from the user and then evaluates the expression, which means Python automatically identifies whether user entered a string or a number or a list. Okay, if the input provided is not correct, then the syntax error or exception is raised by Python, for example. Oh, and here's a copy of what the code looks like. Oh, here we go. Val equals input, enter the value. Okay, that's what prompt means up here. Prompt is kind of like the question the user sees. Okay, and then the print, and then val. You know what? Let's go ahead and see what this does. Let's just copy this, put it into our code here. Let's just paste it and then run it. Oh, okay, so I get a prompt, enter your value, 5. And then I hit the enter button on my keyboard and it came out with 5. That's actually really cool. I wonder if I can do a banana. Well, I can't spell, but that's interesting. Okay, so this is getting my input right here, and it's actually saving that input, cute little programming term here, as a variable. Now, this variable happens to be called Val, which is a great name. I had a brother-in-law called Val once upon a time. Don't worry about him. And anyway, so we're printing the value of Val, which is, again, what we input here. That's good. That's good. I'm happy with that. I don't need to print it right away, but you know, for now, that's fine. If the number is outside that range, oh, between 1 and 8. Oh, you know what? Let's change this prompt a bit. Enter, okay, a number between 1 and 8. Oh, that's great. And now when it runs, oh, it says that right here. Enter a number between 1 and 8. And now see, if I'm an intelligent human, I'm going to put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Well, not all of them. That'd be crazy, right? But like, I'm not going to put banana anymore, right? I can't spell banana. I don't know why I keep using it. But like, let's put 3 here. 3 works just fine. Now, if the number is outside that range, we should tell the user they entered an incorrect number and stop the program and stop the program. And well, I'm not good at the English. And just stop the program. That'll do. I'll make it. You know what? I won't make a change, because then the students will be like, you changed it. It wasn't like that 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh, well, whatever. All right. So if the number is outside that range, well, that's interesting. How do we check to see? Okay, so interestingly for us, right? We can actually go to the Google machine again, right? Here's our Google. We're going to leave Python in here, and then we want to check if a number is between 2 values. Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Thank you, Google. Check if use the comparison operators to check if a number is between two numbers. Use the syntax minimum, number maximum. Oh, less than equal to, number maximum less than equal to. Okay, such that maximum is greater than minimum. Okay, wait, hold on a second. How to check? Let's just see if it's got some actual code there, because I think I could do that, but I just want to see. Okay. Here we go. Is between. So this is going to, so is between is effectively a variable here, and it's going to get the value of this sentence. And this sentence is effectively seeing if 5 is less than or equal to 13, and 13 is less than or equal to 10. Now, for you and me, it seems that 5 is in fact less than or equal to 13, so that would be true. But 13 is not less than or equal to 10, so that would return false. And because it's going to return false, this is between is going to be false, and then this print is going to be false. Okay, all right, that's good. Oh, here's an interesting other way to do it. Is between equals 13 in range 5 to 11, and I guess this is also going to return false. So we have 2 ways of writing this. I think with the mathy style, I kind of like this, but it's not quite what we want to do. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to bring it on into here. And what I want to do here is actually, instead of 13, I want to put the val in there. And then, where did it go? It was print is between. Okay, copy. And then, bam, print is between. Let's run this. Let's go ahead and say 5. I should see a, okay, hold on a second. Is not supported between instances of int and stir. What the heck? Okay, well, what's an int and what's a stir? Because like this example has no issues with it, but it is using 13 there, right? Okay, so okay, hold on. Line 13, type error. Okay, so that's a clue here. This is a clue. It's saying line 13. It's even highlighting line 13 for us. There's our problem. And then there's more little clues here. It says type error. I don't know what a type is yet, but that's probably something I could Google. Check. I'm going to leave that open. Open a new tab here. Type error. It was all one word. Was it really all one? Yeah, all one word. Man, these programmers cannot spell. Type error, and we're using Python. And so, okay, so here's some errors and exceptions. There's a type error right there. An index is not an integer. Type error is raised. Okay, all right. Okay. So that, I mean, I don't know what. Okay, is not supported between instances of int and stir. Okay. Those are more hints because I know that I don't know, but I don't want to mess with this one yet, right? Because it's the problem that it's between an int and a stir, and I'm not sure if I mean, is that an int? Is that the stir, right? Or is this the int and this the stir? Because it says that it's not supported between it. Okay, but anyway, I can do an int and a stir here. Type error, int stir. What is this? Python string to int must be stir, not int. Okay. Oh, maybe stir stands for string. Okay, let's find out. Unlike many other programming languages out there, Python does not implicitly typecast integers or floats. I don't know what an integer or a float is. Hold on a second. I just need to make sure. What's an integer? Copy that, pasty paste, make sure it's spelled properly. Integer. Oh, it's a whole number. It's a number that's not a fraction. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's fine with me. What's a float? What's a float? And you know what? Let me just put float here. What's this? Floats are two different kinds of numerical data. Okay, integers and floats. Okay, an integer, more commonly called an int, is a number without a decimal point, like a whole number. Okay, a float is a floating point number, which means it's a number that has a decimal point. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Well, what's a stir? I wonder if I can just, what's a string? And a string, character string, usually called string, written in either single quotes or double quotes, as long as they match. All right, that doesn't. Well, that's fine. Let's see what here. Okay, the wrong way to convert. Well, if this is the wrong way, programmers coming from other programming may attempt to do the following string concatenation, which will produce an error. Age, which here is a variable because it's getting 18, and here we got a string, which is another variable, and we're going to give it hello I am plus 18 plus years old. Okay. And it looks like it's getting an error. Okay, so the correct way, oh, here we go. Correct way to convert a string to an integer in Python is string. Okay, well, that's actually going the other way. I think. What I want to do is I've got, is it a string? Well, let's just try it. Let's go into our code here, and let's wrap this around str. And let's run this, and let's give it a 4. Okay, so this hasn't changed the error message, right? And I don't really know, but I feel like maybe if I read here a few farther down, maybe if I can just do a stir age and turn an integer into a string, can I do it the other way? Can I do an int here? And then will that just turn that string, I guess? Why is this a string? I mean, I'm asking for a number. Why isn't this just a number? I don't know. Run it. Let's go 4. Oh, actually, you know what? That worked. It's interesting, though, that this int, because what if I do this? Banana, right? And then it's an invalid literal for base 10, right? Okay, I'd like that to happen. I guess I'd like it to happen before it prints it out, right? Like, I wonder if I could take this int here. Okay, hold on. Like, follow me for just a second. I'm just going to play with it. I'm going to leave this val here, and I'm going to take, and I'm going to put maybe this int up here. Can I just wrap that input in an int? Let's try and get to the end of that line. I got to make sure my parentheses match, right? Because they're like, that's, I know that's a problem. Okay, now let's do a 4. Okay, 4 is working. That's good. Let's try you know what? I can spell orange. Hey, great job. Okay, so I'm getting an error if my user tries to put in a number that's not a number, or it's something that's not a number, I'm going to get an error right away, and I'm not going to continue on. That's good. And then, okay, so now let's try something that's in between it. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, these numbers, where'd these numbers come from? These need to be 1 and 8, don't they? Because they're 5 and 10. I just copied that. That's what's wrong here. Okay, 5 and 8. Okay, now let's run it. Let's pick a number. Let's try 3. And then is between it, it is true. So we're happy. Okay, all right. So we're good. And let's run it. Let's see if we can get a false one now. Let's try 1. 1 is between 1 and 8. I'm happy with that. Let's try 8. We're kind of trying our end cases. Okay, that's good. Let's try a -4, which I think is still a number. Yep, still a number, but it's not within our value. Let's try a number that's bigger than 8. Let's try 9. And it's good. It's printing out the number, but it's still too big, and so we're getting a false there. Okay, so that's great. But if it's outside the range, instead of saying false, we should actually tell the user they entered an incorrect number and just stop the program. Okay. That seems harsh, but okay. Let's, how do I, okay, so if, is there a way to do like an if statement? Let's just check this out. Let's go back to, hold on, that's code. Let's, oh. Yeah, that's fine. Python if. Oh, okay, if statement. Python conditions. Okay. Oh, this is W3 Schools. We've seen W3 Schools before. I wonder if W3 Schools had the other information. I'll bet I could learn a lot by reading this stuff, but I just want to know this. Okay, so if conditions. Okay, here's if A is greater than, or sorry, if B is greater than A, then we're going to print B is greater than A. Okay, so basically, if I'm looking at this, right, then I'm seeing the like word if, I'm seeing our like logical expression, and then I'm seeing a colon, and then I'm seeing the thing to do if this is true. Okay. Okay. Let's just do that. So let's come into here. If the number is outside that range. So wait a second. So if we've got something that's outside that range, and I've already got a logical expression, right? Like, hold on a second. If is between, and this works here because this value is a true or false value, and this if is looking for a true or false, right? And then if it's true, wait, hold on a second. But if it's true, we just want to do this. And if it's false, this isn't a false thing. This is a true thing. How do I do a false thing? What's an elif? If the previous conditions were not met. Oh, here's an else. The else keyword catches anything that isn't caught by the preceding conditions. Oh, okay, here we go. We could do else. So we could do this if, and then we don't need an elif. We can just do an else. Okay, so let's try that. Let's come into here if, and then maybe we put all this stuff. We just put all this stuff in here. Oh, sorry, that hashtag. Okay, we're going to do all that, and then right here we're going to do an else. And then how do I just print, right? Print, can I just print words? Yeah, I can just print words. Your number was not in the correct range. And then the game is over, right? Like, okay, so let's run it. Add input. What does that mean? Bad input. Oh, do I need some words here, maybe? Okay, well, let's try print. Oh, go, hold on a second. This comment here is getting a little confusing to me. Let's tab this in, And let's also note here that these are this if, right? And then it's tabbed in here. That's a tab. And so I need to, like, let's tab this in. Let's print. Sorry, that's still capital. Like print. Let's do under construction, because I haven't finished it yet. But let's see if that works. Let's run that. Okay, it's asking for an input. Let's do something that works. Let's do 2, and I should see a bunch of stuff, but I should also see under construction. Good. Construction. Okay, good. Now let's try something that's too big. Let's try 10. And okay, good. So I get my number was not in the correct range. I'm happy about this. You know what though? Actually, I kind of, that's fine. Okay, so now I just have to figure out how to create a right justified hill of hashtags that is the height specified by the user. Okay, so now I need to print. Oh, you know what I could do? I could print a hashtag, right? Let's just try that. Hashtag, right? And then okay, so there's a couple of ways of thinking about this, right? Like I know that I can tell what that val is. Check this out. I could do another if too. Check this out. If val equals double equals. This is the getting of the thing, right? And this is checking to see if it's less than or equal to. How do I check to see if it's equal? Oh, they got a double equal here. Look at that. They do have a double equal there. That's weird. Why? Well, that's because it's actually checking to see if it's equal or not. Because the single equal sign is actually like getting, like A gets the value of 33, right? And I've hopefully, so let's just use the double equal, val, if double equals 1, then we can just print 1, right? And then here, if val, we could do this. This is great. Then we could just print. Hold on a second. Well, we're going to need to print. Can I do multiple lines in a print, or do I have to do multiple print statements? I think I have to do multiple print statements. But we're going to need it right justified, so we're going to have a space. Yeah. Oh, it's genius. I'm a genius. And then another print. And then this one's just going to have 2 hashtags, and then oh, you know what? This should be. Oh, we've got that. Look, it's talking about this. If it's this thing, fine, whatever. But then if it's not that thing, it'll check this, right? Which is what we want. We don't need it to check every single one of these. We only need to do it if it isn't the one above it. So it's an elif. That's an interesting thing. Elif. Okay, elif. And you know what? Let's try that. Let's run it. Let's try 3. Probably nothing's going to happen. Okay, but let's try 1, and we're going to get a hashtag out. And if we do 2, we're going to get our 2 hashtags out. Okay, so here's the thing, right? We could do this. We could totally do another elif and a val 3 and then 3 print lines. We could do that. We could do that all the way to number 8. but I'm lazy. You know, like I feel like the computer should be able to do this for me. Like if there was a way to kind of like loop through, you know, to kind of like, because what we're doing here is we're printing the number of spaces, right, on this first line. Well, actually, so okay, so what are we doing? Let's back this up a bit. Elif val double equals 8. Let's do this. So what do we need? We need to print, right? And what do we need to print here? We need to print how many blank spaces? Well, if it's 8 across, because it says it's 8, then we need to have 7 blank spaces, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 hashtag. Okay, fantastic. And so, you know what? Here's my little hashtag. This is 7. This is a new comment for me. Ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? I can use a hashtag inside of the quotes, and it doesn't come out the rest of the line. But over here, it's going to come out the rest of the line. But that's okay. 7 blanks, or 7 spaces. Let's do 7 spaces. 1 hashtag. Okay, that's a hashtag. I need a hashtag. There we go. 1 hashtag. Okay, and then I'm going to do it again, right? So the kind of second line is going to have, second line is actually going to have 6 blank spaces and 2 hashtags. Okay, so this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 of those. Okay, so this is 6 spaces and 2 hashes. So what do you think the third one's going to be? And also, are we noticing any patterns yet? Let me do a third one. Print. Third one's going to be 5 blank spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 hashtags. Okay, and are we seeing a pattern yet? I'm seeing 5. You know what? Let's make this better here. Let's go 7. Let's get rid of that comma. Let's call this 1 hashtag. Okay, this is spaces. This is 3 hashtags. Okay, so what's the pattern here? What's the pattern? I think the pattern is that we're getting our number, and eventually, right, we're going to get 8 print statements, right? We're only 3 down. We need to get it go all the way. So we're taking that value, and for the first time through, right, we're getting that value minus 1 because it's the first time through, and then we're getting the first time through number of hashtags. And the second time through, we're getting this value minus 2 blank spaces, and then we're getting the lines, or 2 number of hashtags, because it's that many lines through. So if I were going to go to, and let me just say, like, if I were going to come down here a couple of spaces, and I was going to go print, sorry, that would be 4, this would be 4, this would be 5, this is number 6. So on the 6th time through, I'm not going to put anything here. I want to come over here first, and then let me put my quote quote. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to have, because this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's the 6th time through. So on the 6th time through, I'm going to get the value, which, you know, value minus 2, no, minus 6. Value minus 6, which is going to be 2 spaces, and then the number of times we're going through, so 6 hashtags, right? So if we can figure out kind of the pattern that we're doing here, then we could make a different thing. We could do like a for loopy loop, right? We could do like a for loop. It's a special thing that I know, but like you could also, like, if we didn't know that, we could think about this like looping, right? Python loop, right? And Python for loops, W3 schools, which is fantastic. Maybe this will show us what to do. Okay, so so interesting, it has fruits equals a list of fruits, okay, for X, which is just a variable that they've just made right now. In fruits, it's going to print X. Okay, so this is going to go through and print each item in that list, which is close to what I want to do. I want to do a thing with just a number. Oh, here we go, for X in range 6. Okay, so no, range 6 is not the values 0 through 6, but the values 0 through 5. Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, so if we put in range, let's copy this really second. Just a second. All right, we're gonna come over here. If it's between, all right, we're gonna, you know what, let's I don't need this. I want to do it a better way. So I'm gonna leave it there for now, but I'm gonna clean that up later. Okay, so for X in range, I gotta keep my spacing proper. I gotta make sure all of my spacing's proper here, because my spacing inside is very important. And can I just run this? Let's just pick a number, any number. Okay, so here we go. It printed, because I hit 4, so it didn't do a value 1 and it didn't do a value 2, but it did do this for loop, right? Why is that red now? I don't know. Let's put in something that's big really quick. Okay, so even though this is a little red and that makes me a little bit worried, I'm not too worried yet. Okay, that's fine. Let's put it back in. 4, and it is printing out, so 4X in range, and again, X is just a variable that we just made. We can just do that. We can just make variables, and it's in range 6, and it's printing out 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is actually 6 things, right? Which is good, but it's printing out, it starts counting at 0, which is a little weird, but that's okay. That's okay. So instead of 6 here, we can actually do, you know what, let's leave it at 6. Let's leave it at 6, and let's see if we can build this printing thing. Yeah, let's build that printing thing. So let's print. You know, let's put val in here. That's a better idea. And let's put a hashtag in here. Hashtag. And let's go see how this works. And if we put in 4, we're getting 4 hashtags, which is good, which is a start, right? So it's printing this 4 times, which is what we want, and we don't care about the numbers necessarily, but we do know that it starts counting. So I'm going to make a little note here. Starts counting at 0. Okay, so if we want to print it, you know, I'm thinking that we need to sort of build maybe another, okay, so this is a good one for the number of rows, right? This is a good for the number of rows, but we need columns as well, right? Because we kind of have like columns. We have columns of like spaces and hashtags, right? And right now we just have like rows. So if we've got an X, which is X is fine. X is kind of, well, X is kind of the it doesn't matter. X is fine. Okay, sweet. So let's do X here. And can we do another? How do we make a long line? Maybe a string? Hold on a second. Can I make a string? Okay, let's call this line. Make a variable here just for the fun of it. And then what do we want to do here? We want to do a hard cut. Okay, so let's keep going. I had some time to think about it. Also, I used the bathroom. But anyway, sorry, I get distracted. So I've been thinking about this, right? And what we really have, like, it would be nice, honestly, because if we've got all the blank space and then a hashtag, and then we all got that -1 of the blank space is an extra hashtag, right? So if we had a couple of extra variables to kind of like help us work through this, I think it might help. And so really, we need to be able to add the blank space or the spaces to the hashes, right? And then those values will change over time, but let's first get those values, the spaces and the hashes. So let's call this spaces. Spaces. Let's go ahead and just set that to nothing right now, and hashes, yeah, let's lowercase hashes, also set that to nothing. Okay, now to set up the spaces, let's just actually use this for loop right here. Okay, and then we will, instead of printing this, let's just do spaces plus equals a space, right? And we can do that with this plus equal. We'll just add on a space at the end of it, and just to show us that we're right, let's go ahead and have a print here, and it's outside of that for loop. Notice that it's not, but let's just spaces. Oh, it's spelled s's. Spaces. Well, let's get rid of it. Let's get space and let's get hash and save myself a couple of keystrokes here. So space, and then we can also plus a hashtag right here, just so that we can see where that space ends. So let's go ahead and run this, and let's go 4. And okay, so true is actually 4 characters long, so I have 4 blank spaces there and a hashtag at the end of it, which I think is almost exactly what I want, except it's not quite what, but the important thing is I have 4 blank spaces here. That is good. And so now I have my spaces set up. And so once I have my spaces set up, if I could do like another loop, right, then what I could do is I could go through the value, right? I could do it however many times I need to do it, but I could subtract one of those spaces and I could add a hashtag, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go for, let's use that same loop basically in range val, and let's subtract a space. So space minus equals space, sorry, that's minus plus, minus equals space. Is that gonna work? I mean, I know that adding it is gonna work, but I don't know. And that's okay. That's okay. I can do it, and then I can add a hash. Add a hash plus equals. Oh, is hash a different color? Hash is a different color. I'm gonna use the hashes because hash. I don't want hash to be blue. Normally, when they're different colors, and that was the same color as this range, that means it's a special word, and I can't use that without screwing things up. So I'm gonna add a hash. And then what I'll do is I'll print space plus hash. Yeah, and then I don't think I'm gonna need this at the end of it, so let's just, because I got my printing there, so let's just get rid of it. Let's run this. Let's run it 4 times and see what happens here. Okay, yeah, so it's red. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do that. Honestly, I was a little surprised that I was able to do the whole adding thing to it, but it says it's unsupported operand for minus equals string and string. Okay, so it can't minus equal a string, so I'm going to have to do something, and what I want to do is I want to remove the last character from a string. That's what I want to do, so let's Google that, and let's just go ahead and click into this. And it actually picks me up to our strip. If I scroll up a little bit, though, I could slice the string from the. Okay, so looking at this, I've got buggy name getting the value geek flare with a capital extra E, and then name is going to equal buggy name, some bracket colon -1 bracket. Okay, and then printing the name. I'll bet that that's going to print geek flare without that extra E. And so really, this is what I want. except that instead of buggy name and buggy name here, I'm just going to have like space equals space minus 1, right? I guess I could also do it with rstrip, but removes the characters from the right side of the string that it was given, so we can use it to remove the last element of the string. We don't want to write more than one line of code to give the last element in the strip method. It will return the string by removing the last character. We'll see the code snippet. So it looks the same, it's just got extra stuff here. I don't think I need this. I think I can just do it with this. So let's just try it. Let's go. So instead of that, we're going to go equals space, what was a bracket colon minus 1 bracket, bracket. Yeah, and that should take 1 off the end of it. Let's try it. Let's run it. Let's run it 4 times. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, that says hash. That should be hashes. That's better. Okay, let's run that for. Oh, dudes! Dude, do you see that? Do you see this? That's what I want, and it's happening in this lines of code. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. So 1, I don't need this for printing. I don't need that true printing. So this is the 4. Let's get rid of it. Just bye. Let's leave my comments here. I don't need this printing. Bye. I don't need these things. Bye. And then let's go ahead and run it again. Pick a number between 1 and 8. Let's do 1. I like that. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's try 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm happy with that. Let's try 9. Your number was not in the correct range. Fantastic. Let's try a negative number. Not in the correct range. Oh my gosh. Guys, I mean, it's working. Right now, granted. This little bit of code here, right? It caused us to think a little bit more, because we could have solved the same thing 20 minutes ago, right? If we had just kept typing out the ifs and else, for all the way. But the cool thing here, though, is we can actually, because we've got it set up here, we can decide, well, if it doesn't want to be 8, maybe I want to make 80, right? And now imagine having to write down 80 else and if else's, right? See, like now I can do 50 of these, and it's just going to go boom. Look at that. See, because I changed one value up here, right? And so now, of course, if I do 50, it's going to be too big, right? That's fine. But that is interesting. This little bit of code, and maybe there's a better way of doing this too. Maybe you could do this. I did this in 1, 2 for loops, right? And I used 1 for loop to just kind of get that space thing set up. Maybe there's a way to do it in just 1 for loop, Yeah. Maybe there's a way to do it in just 1 for loop. Just for interesting sake. Now here, this is an integer. Oh, this is an integer. Yeah. What happens if I go print? See, maybe I should have played around with this, the printing thing before. Okay, and then +1. That should, I'm gonna guess, be a 0, blank space and a 1, right? Yeah. You know what? Let me actually do this in a different place. So let's. So I've still got my code over here. It's safe. Don't worry. Let's go play with my print statement. Can I just print? Let's print the number 1. Let's print the letter A. Let's print the letter A. That's good. Okay. Let's print B plus 2. I'm going to guess that it's going to be a B2. Nope, we can't do ints and strings. We already did that. So let's do a string of that thing. That's fine. We're going to get a B2. Okay, so we can't add things. Can we C minus 3. Run that. Okay, we can't subtract things. That's interesting. I wonder if we can str this. I mean, I don't even know what I mean, I'm sure I can actually read the book. Okay, so I can't subtract a string, which is fine. That's fine. That throws an error. I'm just going to hashtag that away. That's fine. And if I hashtag it away, it's a comment now, so it doesn't get, it doesn't go. I wonder if I can like multiply things though. Hold on a second. Print. This is going to be D times 4. What's this going to do? Oh, that's interesting. That, my friends, is interesting. That is interesting because I can do this times thing for some reason, right? That means this whole line right here, these could actually just be. I wonder if I could just do this times val. Does that make sense? Can I do that? I don't think I can do that. Hold on a second. Let me copy that. Let me paste that over here, and let me just print space. And then let's make that an equally thing. Let's put that in parentheses, of course. Boom. And let's get rid of this weirdness that I've done here on my actual code. I shouldn't screw up with my actual code. I should screw up other places. Okay, so let's run this. Val's not defined. Oh, well, that's duh. Let's just put an actual number in there. Let's put 8. Well, they're all blank. A, B, C, D, E. There we go. Oh, that's an E. Thank you. Oh, look at that. So I could have totally gotten rid of this for loop. Bam. And made it effectively this line, right? Because that times right there just fills in the blanks. So I could have done this in one for loop, guys. That's cool. I think that's cool. Okay. Anyway, I hope this helps. For you to turn this in, you need to click this save button right here. When you click that save button, you get a new URL. That's the address bar up here. Copy that address bar and send that address to me in a link. Make sure that when you do that, you have a hashtag at the bottom that says your name here. All right. And then, of course, you hit the save button and you give me that code right there, this address. You email me that address, and then I'll know that you did it. Thanks.